Hello.
Yeah,
Welcome in. This is the Birds of a Feather podcast. It's your boy Qcity.
your boy Taj Bravado.
And this is the betting pod for the championship weekend. You guys, we are almost at that point at the end of the season. We have three football games less games that left that matter in the season, bro. The Pro Bowl is it even really a competition anymore, bro?
It's flag.
Is it still?
It's flag football. It's like they don't even put pads on. It's literally flag football. They don't put pads on.
Yeah,
So
but
I ain't counting that.
we got 3 games that matter, man. Not gonna lie to you, bro. It's been fun with you this season, but it feels like it's flown by, man. Feels like it's flown by.
It did way too quick.
But
Way too.
we are here for you guys. We're gonna deep dive into what last week was. Last week coming in, Taj, you're sitting at 22-22. You turned that record around with a 5-1 week. You was riding high. Had a little too much dip on your chip. I ain't gonna lie to you, big dog. 1-3 week on these games. It was kind of tough.
Yeah, man.
It was kind of tough.
Even the greats fall, man.
So you took Houston money line versus Baltimore, right? Couldn't have been more wrong on that one. I took Houston 9.5 versus Baltimore. Once again, couldn't have been
The
as
first
wrong.
half looked great.
The first half looked
great.
But
I was like, oh yeah, I might be on to something. And then yeah, they let me the fuck down.
no, but you want to know something? Like
That boy Mike.
that first half was
defense.
He can call a defense, man. And another thing about it is, I think that punt return skewed how much Baltimore was truly dominating that game. Because when Lamar went down and they scored that second touchdown, and it's 14-6, they truly were on pace to continue dominating the game. It was just, that punt return kind of switched it, so it was a 1-point game at halftime. You know what I'm saying? I thought my 9.5 was safe, but Lamar said, "Let me leave no doubt. Let me leave no doubt."
Put up 4 of them things. 2 in the air, 2 on the ground.
Yeah.
And the defense did what they did, and you know that like you heard it here first. Mac McDonough gonna be the Seahawks head coach.
Hey, look, I wouldn't be mad at because they're talking about hiring Dan Quinn, bro, and it doesn't make sense to me to fire Pete Carroll to just hire Dan Quinn, like a younger Pete Carroll, a slightly younger Pete Carroll.
It makes sense in the sense that like ain't no slightly younger. Pete Carroll 72, Dan 40 something. That ain't no slightly younger.
Dan 40 something, bro. I swear hey, look, time is not nice to him. That man look old as shit.
He just bald. He just a baldy.
But no,
that coach life is stressful.
I think Dan Quinn.
Oh my bad, he's 53. He's 53, so he's 20 years younger.
Yeah, I feel like you're getting a downgrade to the same guy. To be honest with you, bro.
I mean, yeah, but you like realistically, how much longer is Pete Carroll gonna coach? He's 72. How much longer is he?
No. I don't get me wrong. I get the moving on from Pete. But if you're gonna move on from Pete, move on from Pete. You feel what I'm saying? Like it's kind of like when Mike Vrabel was kind of touted as, he could possibly be Atlanta's coach, and it's like, no, like we're moving on from Arthur Smith. So like any of his like little remnants or whatever, I'm not trying to deal with that.
So like I get that, but at the same time, I don't really because like at the end of the day, yeah, he worked there, but these are different people. Like Arthur Smith was a Titan longer than Vrabel was.
I get that, but
Dan Quinn was there for like 2 maybe 3 years, and then he's been gone longer than he was actually in Seattle.
Which is true, but I feel like you're still trying to fall up under that same tree. You're still trying to recapture that magic, right? And Philly did it the best. You know what I'm saying? Philly doesn't stray too far from Andy. They fired him. They went the Chip Kelly route. It went absolutely terrible. And ever since then, every single head coach they hired has had some connection to Andy Reid. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's what it is. They don't stray too far from Andy.
Makes sense.
You know what I'm saying? But, like, for the Seahawks, it felt like you were kind of trying to turn the page on Pete Carroll, so it just didn't make sense for you to go, kind of reach back and go to Dan Quinn when there are people like Mike McDonald,
Yeah.
our coach. He ain't on the market no more. Raheem Morris, people like there. If you wanted a defensive mindset, we're out there.
Okay, so but here's the here's the thing on that with it. Like, yeah, I get it. Like when you bring up people like Mac McDonald, but Mac McDonald, he's only been a coordinator for 1 year in the
Which is true.
He's 36 years old. It's like people got to stop acting like that any of these candidates is a sure thing. Because honestly, we don't fucking
Nah,
know. Like we don't know.
nah,
It's all these are all educated guesses that these owners are
yeah,
making. They're making educated investments on who they think might work, but they don't know until shit hits
yeah.
the fan.
It looks like Ben Johnson's going to Washington, and everybody's going to give them 10 wins, and then you go there, and he might be the second coming of Josh McDaniel. You never know. You know what I'm saying? So
Right, cause like I see like a large group of fans that are up in arms about even our hiring and like just do a little research, and you might like what you see in there.
So,
Um,
so it doesn't. It goes to
like
show.
it's like when you got a large group of fans, if you got coaches and you got a large group of coaches and former players caping for this man and y'all hate it, I don't get it, but it is what it is.
I would sit over here and drop this. Some people don't know ball reference, but seeing as we were both completely wrong, seeing as we were both completely wrong on this bet, I don't want to be too hard on y'all. So, Houston has a bright future, bro. Houston, they are set for the next 10 years.
Oh,
They're
and they get the benefit of keeping slow another year.
yeah. He wasn't able to. He's not going to make a lateral move. He gets all the credit, for CJ being there, seeing as D'Amico's a defensive coach. The one thing I will say, I think that Houston's ascendance was terrible for a couple franchises, right? The first franchise,
Yeah, it hurts to see.
you said what?
Yeah, see, it hurts to see for franchises who are trying to duplicate that model because that model is going to be damn near impossible to duplicate because CJ Stroud don't come out
Every single year,
often.
right? Every single year. And I think the team that it hurts the most is a game we're about to talk about. But like Houston's ascendance hurts Buffalo the most, right? Like if you look at Baltimore, Kansas City, Cincinnati, because when Joe's going to be healthy. You look at Miami, it seems to always going to be in there. And if you add Houston, because Buffalo's going to get there, right? There's a lot of teams out there. The Chargers, the Broncos, who just have they're going to have a crazy dead cap situation. I don't feel like the Raiders have those aspirations. But you look at the Colts, who just happened with Richardson. You look at the Jaguars with Trevor Lawrence. A lot of these teams, the Browns, whose quarterback they paid $230 million guaranteed. There's a lot of teams out there.
Thank you. I appreciate you. I appreciate you.
There's a lot of teams out there fighting for 2 playoff spots because it looks like this kid's got one locked up for the next couple years. And barring health, we almost write in 3 playoff spots every year in that 4 playoff spots in the AFC every year. Baltimore, Kansas City, Cincinnati if they're healthy, and Buffalo. Those are kind of just like write-ins. You know what I'm saying? That these guys are going to be in there. They're seeding their position, that's fine. These guys are going to be in there. I didn't even mention Pittsburgh. You know what I'm saying? So basically for the other 3 spots, you got 9 teams in very, very precarious situations fighting for it. If a 5th team is now right in, hey, look, man, some of these franchises are gonna have some hard decisions to make. You know what I'm saying? Harbaugh just went to LA, and I was listening to.
Yeah, that's probably gonna be a right in. I'm gonna call that a right in.
So now if you're Cleveland, if LA's a right in and Houston's a right in, now you're in Cleveland. What's that situation like? Now you're in Denver. What's that situation like? If you're in Denver, you're basically saying for the next 5 years, you're never gonna finish above 3rd in your division.
Yeah, it's a dog fight over there for real.
You know what I'm saying? What if
It's dead ass a straight dog fight now.
the, Pittsburgh? You know what I'm saying? Is Pittsburgh just gonna keep finishing fourth in their division? You feel me?
It's yeah,
Is Pittsburgh just gonna be slated as
it's
fourth in their
tough.
division? Like Richardson. You know what I'm saying? And then the elephant in the room, Trevor Lawrence, bro. You know what I'm saying? The Jaguars
Yeah,
basically had this division on lock, had things fall through their hands. Now you're looking at it to where you have a serious contender within your division. And if Houston's just going to be there every year, no matter what, Houston's going to find a way to make the playoffs every year because Stroud is healthy. That was supposed to be your spot. You look at Peyton Manning's dominance. It started in the fact that like when they reshuffled the NFL, and I'm not that. Please, this is no Peyton slander. I think he's like a top three quarterback all time. But when the league realigned and it became the AFC South, it benefited Brady and it benefited Manning. You know what I'm saying? Like he consistently faced bad quarterback play. You know what I'm saying? And was able to dominate that division, rack up 12, 13 wins every year. You know what I'm saying? So it's like that was his right end spot. That was supposed to be Trevor Lawrence. Now you have a bona fide guy in your division. What does this look like for you long term? I think a lot of teams are in tough spots if Houston is just going to become that perennial playoff contender.
yeah, because I'm going to say he's the best quarterback in the division. And Richardson, hey, for all you know, Richardson might turn to be too. The AFC South might be a quarterback heavy division.
Yeah, like Tennessee.
But the AFC in general is the AFC South. The AFC in general is a plethora of heavy hitting
Yeah,
quarterbacks.
and the league isn't realigning.
The NFC side is more team. Yeah, it's not no. The NFC, I think NFC has stronger teams, but the AFC definitely has a better quarterback play.
And you look at it, if you take the fourth team in a lot of these divisions and you just look at their quarterback play, like you look at Tennessee, they they don't know if they have something in Will Levis. They might like it, they might not. You know what I'm saying? Like they don't really know. You look at Washington.
Callahan gonna find
Yeah,
out though.
you look at Washington, they may or may not like Sam Howell. I think they're going somewhere else in the draft. I think Jaden Daniels is kind of
They take it. They number two. They taking
yeah,
that
they're
guy.
taking Drake May, Jaden Daniels, Caleb. They're taking a quarterback. But then you're looking at it. Who does that drop down to for? New York?
No, New York's 5-4 is the
No, I'm
Cardinals.
saying like who does that drop to fourth in their division?
Oh,
You know what I'm saying? Like the
oh.
the Raiders. You know what I'm saying? Might just be perpetually stuck at fourth. Doesn't mean Antonio Pierce is a bad coach. It's just like you don't have the quarterback play to deal with.
Yeah, it might be the
It could
Broncos.
be. It could be. And that's going to be tough because their payroll is crazy. And they're taking a crazy dead cap hit getting rid of
Yeah,
Russ.
yeah, yeah.
But I think,
So they gonna have more than likely another bad
yeah.
year.
So, hey, Houston coming up has done a lot. Has done a lot to the league, has done a lot to the AFC. But you love to see it because the kid can ball. The kid can play.
Yeah.
Now, this second game, you laid them on the table. You know what I'm saying? You went Green Bay money line San Fran. I took the plus 10. I'm not saying that you was on the wrong side of this. Like a little caveat, right? A little caveat. And sophisticated bettors know what I'm talking about. You can lose a bet and be on the right side of it. And like betting is a zero sum game. Like let's please don't get that mistaken when I say that. But like you being on the right side of a bet and getting a bad beat or a bad break does not mean that you don't know how to bet or you don't know what you're talking about. And I think that like you guys have constantly heard me say, "Oh, I feel like I was on the right side of that one," and then you'll get a comment like, "Oh, you lost a bet. Oh, y'all betting number is this. Oh, your betting number is that." Like, not to brag or be anything. Like Taj is sitting slightly below 500, and I'm like getting close to 60%. kind of know what we talking about. You know what I'm saying? Like just kind of know what we talking about. And so when I say you're on the right side of it, it's just like, yeah, I took Green Bay best plus 10, but it's because, okay, I thought the game was going to be close. He took Green Bay money line. And if Jordan Love doesn't make the most boneheaded interception that I've seen in a while, Green Bay probably wins that game. So, like, this means like being on the right side of a bet, right? So, obviously, the plus 10 hit. Jordan Love, boy, that boy about to get broke off. He about to get paid, my man. He about to get that bag and then some.
Oh yeah,
He about to get that bag and then some.
for sure. He for sure about to get him a nice little bag.
Who didn't look great at all in that game was Purdy. And like people will
He did it when it mattered.
that's what people kind of stick to. But like for me, I feel like that gives me a lot of pause because bro, the the 49ers had two interceptions in that game. Obviously, the last one kind of sealed the game, right? The first interception, I feel like it was just a good play, if I'm remembering correctly. Just kind of like a good play situation. Purdy as a whole through three quarters played like crap. When Debo went out, Purdy was sailing balls. Purdy was Green Bay's defense couldn't capitalize, right? And like you're not able to. Green Bay easily could have had this game look just like Dallas's game. But if they were able to capitalize on Purdy just not being able to throw the ball, and it was like it was funny in the broadcast because it made me think of me and your conversation where they were like, Kyle's 0 and what is it? Oh, and I think it was 0 and 30 before this game when trailing more than seven going into the fourth quarter, right? It was him as a head coach. And the broadcast brought up the fact of like, well, he's a very conservative play caller. You know what I'm saying? And he leans on the run, this and that. And so that kind of hamstrings him as he goes into the fourth quarter. And I was like, that shit was born because you were too aggressive during the Super Bowl, right? And then you saw pundits on TV.
So it was an overcorrection.
Yeah, you saw pundits on TV later in the week being able to put the two and two together. But that's just be like, hey, bro, you heard it here first, bro. Like you heard it here first. You know what I'm saying? And it's like when you kind of get that history and you understand how guys are bitten. You know what I'm saying? Like Marty Schottenheimer. Marty Schottenheimer was always seen as somebody who was super too conservative in the playoffs. He was always seen as somebody who was
Yeah, I was like that.
Who was too conservative in the playoffs, right? But that was born from the drive. You know what I'm saying? When Elway went 99 on him, you feel me? Like he wasn't able to recover from that. Mindset wasn't right. Yeah. It was always, I don't want to get the ball back. I just think these are things you got to think about when you want to bet. You're looking at coaches. I felt like Green Bay was going to stick around. And to be honest with you, I think they could have won this game. But it bodes very, very well for Jordan Love. He is about to get paid.
Yeah, just no more, whatever that was in the end, Jordan, and we good.
Now, the one I will say we were on complete opposite sides of. I took Detroit, you took Tampa. I don't trust Baker enough to take Tampa.
I still don't feel like I was on the wrong side of that though.
All right, why not?
I mean, it was still a good game. I just, I feel like it still could have went either way. So I don't feel like I was on the wrong side.
Which, I mean, I feel you. But, like, for me, bro, when I look at it, they had a late, what's it called? They had a late drive that turned it. And then Detroit was, like, really aggressive. That's the one thing I will say about Detroit. Bro, they add a lot of variance to the game. Right? They add a lot of variance to the game because of the way they like go for fourth downs and Uh,
Yeah, Dan Quinn. I mean, not Dan Campbell, but Dan Campbell is very, very aggressive.
yeah, and it adds a lot of variance to the game, and it's cool and whatnot. But boy, it could lose you some game. It could lose you some games, man. And like, I think that his aggression is it's a good thing. It's a good thing. Like, I think as a fan, when you got the ball at the 48 and it's a fourth and six, or not a fourth and six, but maybe like a fourth and three or a fourth and two, you're screaming at the TV, go for it, and your coach punts. You know what I'm saying? We dealt with that with Arthur Smith a couple
Yeah,
times this year. You know what I'm saying? You want a guy who's going to go for it in that situation because you're like, if the punt rolls into the back of the end zone, it's only like a net positive for 27 yards there. You know what I'm saying? I trust our defense enough. We can play the numbers there. He always goes with that decision. But man, throwing the
yeah.
ball,
And he don't really quit. He don't really spend no time debating on it either. He go. He just
but
go through it.
throwing the ball after Tampa had scored and basically giving them a free timeout was crazy work. Was crazy work, bro. Um, and then something that nobody wants to talk about. I seen it on Reddit, and I had to go back and look because they showed it on network broadcast. What the hell was Jared Goff doing when he was supposed to be taking these?
Oh,
Because he snapped the ball with like 20 seconds on one of them.
yeah. You got a
Yeah,
point.
like he got way too excited, bro. Like, and Tampa didn't use their timeout, which was weird. But I get what Bowles was saying because he was like, it was basically just delaying the inevitable. Um, had I used the timeout, would have forced them to run a play. Uh, Basically on the math of it, someone broke it down. They would have got the ball back with like 8 seconds left, right? So it would have been definitely like a ladder play or a Hail Mary type of situation. But even still, don't leave no time on the clock, bro. Take the ball down to 5 seconds.
No,
Take the
no, you
knees,
can't do
bro.
that. You can't do that.
Take the knees. All right. Now the big game of the weekend. We both were on the right side of it. Kansas City, Buffalo. If you don't beat this Chiefs team, when you gonna beat them, bro?
Josh Allen is never gonna be the same.
Hey, look, man. I don't think you're wrong, man. Cause like, what's funny? What's funny? Cause I know I sent it to you. That Bleacher Report where they were like, Josh Allen is Dan Marino in terms of like Patrick Mahomes to his rival, bro. Y'all heard it here first, bro. Like, y'all heard it here first, huh?
Nah, this is what it is though. Josh Allen is Vegeta. Mahomes Goku. He just ain't never enough to beat up to him. Like no matter how close he get, he always find another level.
I'm not lying to you.
He just is what it is, man.
It's what it looks like. It's what it looks like, bro. And one of the breakdowns, I am going to credit him because it's nationally syndicated. I don't want y'all to feel like I'm trying to steal a take or whatever. I have my own mindset on it though. Nick Wright, he was talking about how Brady and Manning, when Manning retired, was an actual debate, right? Like it was an actual debate, and people forget because Brady took it like way far out that like when Manning retired, it was an actual debate. Manning had 2 rings, 3 appearances, 5 MVPs, right? Brady had two. He had what was it? 5 appearances, 3 rings, 2 MVPs. Right when Peyton retired, and when Peyton retired, he was 3-2. And I think I said this last week. When Peyton retired, he was 3-2 against Brady. Like once he learned how to beat him, he never lost to him again. He was 3-2 in the playoffs versus Brady. And I think overall they were like 10-11 versus each other, 11-10. It was close, but it was an actual debate, right? And I think when we're discussing Patrick, we want to give him a rival so bad. But like, bro, if you pull up the numbers from him versus any of his peers, There's no comparison, bro. There is nobody.
Just him, and then it's really just him. But like I guess like I mean we'll find out what next week. If Lamar wins MVP, then I mean Lamar probably be the closest thing you can give him the competition, even though statistically it may not measure up, but stylistically they're very different. But he'd be the closest thing you can give
Look.
to like someone at the top of the game.
So that was gonna roll right into what the betting points was gonna be for this week because like I hate the whole legacy play thing, but like it is in play here. Lamar is the only person that can have any sort of this is a rivalry with Patrick Mahomes. So Patrick Mahomes,
Yeah.
2 MVPs. Lamar, we're presuming after next week will have 2 MVPs. Lamar has to win this game to even have it be a conversation because Pat has 3 Super Bowl appearances, 2 rings, right? So like Lamar's got to start. He's got to get like at least at the very least a Super Bowl appearance. You don't even have to win it. You got to get at least a Super Bowl appearance, right? You look at it that way, and it's like, okay,
Yeah.
Lamar has an opportunity to be a peer, like on the same level. I think if he wins and then wins the Super Bowl, there could be legit conversation going into if anybody came up to you next year and was like Lamar's the best quarterback in the game, it wouldn't be slander. Like you could have a legit conversation about it, bar for bar, right? You kind of
I still ain't
no. I'm still gonna go with Pat, but I'm saying if somebody came and was like they got the same number of MVPs, Lamar's the champion, Pat got 2. You know what I'm saying? But like if you want to keep it a bean, he got there on a year Lamar was hurt, right? Like you could have a conversation, right? I ain't saying it's a good conversation. I ain't saying it's a right conversation.
All 3 times when Lamar was hurt, huh? All 3 times Lamar was hurt, huh?
No. I'm saying one of the times he got there, Lamar was hurt.
Yeah. Then all you gotta do about what about the other time? What about the other 2 times he went?
The other 2 times he won, and Lamar beat him and won. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm saying it could be a conversation. I'm not saying it's right or it's wrong. I'm saying it could be a conversation. It's not complete slander.
I don't think you could use that conversation when Mahomes done been running through the AFC.
They would have the same number of MVPs. They would both be champions. Now, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. Please don't get it twisted. I'm not saying that. I'm saying if a Baltimore fan came up to me and said it, I wouldn't just be like, man, shut up, you don't know ball. Like you can have an actual conversation.
I ain't gonna say you don't know ball, but I'm gonna tell you.
I'm gonna tell you wrong. But you can have an actual conversation. Now, if someone came up to me and was like, Josh Allen's the best quarterback in the league, just shut up. Like you don't know what you're talking about. Like that's not a true or accurate statement.
He might be one of the most
Talented.
He might be one of the most physically talented, but he still ain't. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, talent only gets you but so far. Work hard.
Hey, look, man, talent gets you fired. I think, or did I say potential? Potential or talent, both of them, man, that should get you fired, bro.
Potential can get you
fired, bro. And he's physically talented, and you seen how they sacked his offensive coordinator. And I think one of the best analogies for it was that they saw the house and they said, "Oh, I can't turn on the ceiling fan," so they took a floor off the house, and then they said, "Oh, I still can't touch the ceiling fan," so they put in an extra slab of concrete and raised the floor. That was Josh Allen, bro. They blew up the house when they got rid of his offensive coordinator. And Joe Brady came in and he turned them into a ground and pound run team where Josh Allen ain't putting the ball in the air. In this whole 7-game win streak that everybody was talking about, he threw over 200 like twice. And in those times, he turned the ball over. They lowered the ceiling because they don't trust this man, bro. They don't trust this man. He turned the ball over way too much. So they was just like, look, I can't trust you to have the good without the bad. So I'm fine with not having the good. Everybody wants to. They turned that man into a game manager. He was an exciting game manager because he could scramble a little bit, but they didn't let him air it out and do what he was supposed to. And then they didn't let him do it for 8 weeks.
Maybe he don't need to.
They let him do it for 8 weeks. Or they didn't let him do it for 8 weeks. And then when you needed it, everybody want to jump on Stephon. Stephon ain't got that ball thrown to him like that in 8 weeks, bro. In 2 months, he ain't had that ball thrown to him.
Yeah. That's fair.
That used to be their whole offense. He ain't had that ball thrown to him in 2 months. And you mad he didn't make it in that situation. I get it, he a pro. He should have made the catch, blase. But like, that's not what the offense has turned into. And everybody want to get on Stephon.
Yeah,
He been.
I mean, I get it, but at the same time, big players got to make big plays.
He do. I'm not. Hey, look, I'm not saying that you are absolved from not catching it.
You can't have that hit you right here, and then look at the quarterback like.
Hey, look, I'm not saying he absolved. I'm not saying he absolved, but even you know, he been playing good soldier. He been blocking on the edges. He been, you know what I'm saying? He been running his routes, being a decoy. They put the numbers up. Rashee Rice had more yards than him the past 8 weeks, bro. And you see how bad we talk about.
Rashee Rice been balling though.
Yeah, but you see how we talk about Kansas City's receiving corps. And at best, Rashee Rice is the second option on Kansas City. And he has more.
Yeah.
Travis is the first option.
But I mean,
yeah, but that's what I'm saying. And to keep it being probably the third option because Pacheco is usually where they run it. I'm saying they run the ball with Pacheco.
I mean, yeah, but like when it comes to passing, is
yeah, right. Second option had better numbers than Stephon over the past 8 weeks of the season, bro. Because like y'all not using him the same way. You're not putting the ball in the air the same way. Like y'all don't trust Josh Allen, bro.
No, they don't, because he can't take care of the ball. He puts the ball in harm's way far too much. Brett Favre Jr. puts the ball in harm's way way too much.
And that's where I feel like going back to CJ, the Bills they're gonna get expensive, right? And like, when are you gonna win?
They already expensive.
They are, but they've been able to play and manipulate the cap. Now, Tre'Davious White, Matt Milano both come back. You know what I'm saying? But they're both coming off devastating injuries, right? So like, that's kind of Von Miller. I'm pretty sure he's gone after this year.
I mean, I don't know how.
No, it was a 3-year. It was a 3-year deal. It was a 3-year deal he signed.
It was a 6-year deal. It was a 6-year deal he signed. It might be 3 years in principle, but it was a 6-year deal he signed.
Nah, it's funny money.
It was a 6.
No, I don't doubt that it was a 6-year deal. But I'm saying like in terms of hard and what's going to be dead cap and whatever, it's like 3. If I'm not mistaken.
Well, he got one more year than him.
Yeah,
so.
but I think they eat it. Bro.
That's a lot.
Have you seen his stats for the season?
That's a lot.
Have you seen his stats for the season?
I mean, he wasn't healthy either. Like when it comes to stats, I feel like context is not included enough.
I think he had like 11 total tackles, bro.
Yeah, I mean, but he also didn't play every game.
I get it, but like, bro, that's a lot. That's a lot. Then they got Gregory Rousseau, they got Ed Oliver. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's getting to a point to where you already started skimping on the offensive end, right? Like you're relying on rookie contract and mid-level type players on that side of the ball. Now your defense is getting old, expensive, coming off injury. When is it going to be Buffalo's year, bro? Because if let me ask you, because Joe should be healthy next year, right? If I come into the AFC next year, right, regardless of who wins the championship game or the Super Bowl, I'm probably going to do KC number 1, right? Like just next year, who's coming out of the Super Bowl for the AFC? I'm probably going to go KC number 1. Who's your second team? Probably Baltimore, right? The 2 teams in the AFC Championship. Joe's healthy. Who's your third team?
Probably them.
Who's your fourth team?
Maybe it's too early to say that right now, but I want to say the Chargers.
Okay, all right. You know, Chargers with Harbaugh. Who's your 15?
Probably the Dolphins.
You ain't even got to Houston yet. Or Cleveland with their number one ranked defense yet. Like,
Yeah.
I'm I've never said that Josh Allen's not a good quarterback. Like, he turns the ball over at a historic rate. He's a good quarterback, bro.
Yeah, he's a good quarterback. He just do dumb shit.
You might enter the season as with the fifth or sixth best odds to reach the Super Bowl. And you had
No, but
who?
you know how the media is. The media gonna prop them up, and they're gonna be like, "Oh, it's their year again." Like the media treats the Bills like the media treats the Cowboys.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy work. It's crazy work, bro. It doesn't make any sense. Like, I get it. People be like, "Oh, Josh Allen," like when they trying to hate on him. Josh Allen's only been to two Pro Bowls. First off, he's had like 4 Pro Bowl seasons. The 2 that he didn't go to, he claimed injury, but he was golfing like the next week. He's a good quarterback. Like, nobody's saying that he's not a good quarterback, right?
Yeah,
But like, you don't let him go fire breathing dragon mode like you do Lamar, like you do Patrick, like you do Joe, like Joe versus the 49ers this year, bro, where he just went full I own this game. You know what I'm saying? CJ Stroud versus the Bengals this year, where he just went full, hey, I own this game. Lamar versus Houston just now,
yeah.
I own this game. You don't let Josh do that because he turns the ball over too much. You're handicapping him, bro. You handicapping him.
The thing is, what Josh Allen is. The thing is, sometimes they do let him do that, but the thing is, like, because like one early comparison, he's Brett Favre to me because the thing is like this. They gonna have games where we're like, damn, this is one of the best quarterbacks I've ever seen, and then they gonna have games where they give you 3 interceptions. There is no in between.
Yeah. And to be honest with you, when Holmgren got Brett Favre's in between, 3-time MVP, 2 Super Bowl appearances, 1 Super Bowl. And so like I get why he's the drug you can't quit. You know what I'm saying? Because like if you can strike the balance,
Because
like
it's just like the highs are high, but the lows, oh god.
yeah, it's
but the highs remind you of that first time.
and please don't blame the kicker, bro. Please don't blame the kicker. Like y'all, whenever you had a conversation with any fan or football person, don't blame the kicker, bro. Don't blame the kicker. There were
Right.
several instances in that game where he dropped the ball.
Yeah, you don't blame the kicker. You just don't.
So 3-1 week for me, 1-3 week for Taj. I'm sitting at 29-24. Taj, you're sitting at 23-25. You got 3 games turned around, man. Got 3 games turned around.
I just gotta be one better than 500. One better than 500. That's all I need. Just one.
But we're on opposite sides. I took Baltimore money line KC. You took KC money line Baltimore. I don't really think you got to explain yourself. If anything, I probably got to explain myself. But if you want to, give a little synopsis of why you chose KC.
Mahomes.
Yeah, nah. I mean, it's very, very hard for me to pick against Mahomes and Andy. To be honest with you, bro, 6 times in a row. 6 times in a row they've been in the AFC Championship game. The last 5 results, lost in overtime to Brady. Beat the dog crap out of the Titans. Beat the dog crap out of the Bills. Lost to the Bengals. Beat the Bengals. Right? So like lost to the Bengals in overtime, beat the Bengals. So like this is either a win or an overtime loss. You feel me?
This is what's gonna happen, right? Remember last year when the Chiefs beat the Bengals, and his dad was like, "We smoking on that Joe Burrow. They gonna be smoking on that Lamar Jack.
Yeah, nah, man. I
The Lamar Jack pack is gonna be loud."
so here's my only when you deep dive into the numbers, right? Everybody talks about like how great Baltimore's defense is. I don't think most people realize how great Kansas City's defense is, bro.
The number two, they're 1-2 in points
Yeah,
allowed.
yeah. And like in yards, I think it's like a 17 or 19 difference. So like, and then Baltimore is sixth in yards. Kansas City's second in yards. Their scoring average, it's not even a full point. I want to say it's like point 0.5. It's not even a full point difference in scoring
Yeah,
average.
because it's like I know Kansas City is like 17.9
Yeah,
or 17.3.
yeah. It's not even a full point
So it's
difference.
like people have really been sleep on how good Kansas City defense is, and I've been trying to tell these people, but people been looking like, man, it's just Mahomes. I said, you do realize the defense is the reason why they even here because the offense was
Yeah,
struggling. The defense did the heavy lifting
yeah.
this year,
The
but the offense is starting to find their stride when it matters most.
Now, let me tell you the only thing that gives me extreme pause about this whole defense being good, right? So Baltimore's defense is historic. It's first team to lead in scoring average, sacks, and turnovers, right?
Turnovers.
Here's the thing about that. Turnovers are random and they don't repeat year over year, right? So like Kansas City, to be as good as a defense as they are, I think they had less than 20 turnovers this season, if I'm not mistaken. That is that is a really impressive feat because I am able to keep my yards down, keep your scoring down, and keep your and still sack you. Because Kansas City only has three less sacks than Baltimore
Without getting the random
without
turnover.
getting a random turnover.
Without getting the random turnover.
And like Baltimore is kind of relied on turnovers. Now, there's two games this year that skewed that very heavily. The 49ers game and the it was another game they had four turnovers. It really skewed it, right? But even if you take away those eight, I think they're still at like 30, 32 or something like that. Still a ridiculously high number. And so that does kind of give me pause, right? Because Mahomes is going 5 games in a row in the playoffs without turning the ball over. 6 is an NFL record, but he's going.
I wish you didn't say that because you didn't.
Hey, that's fine. I need that. I chose Baltimore. I chose Baltimore, and I'll kind of bet with my heart here, man. I want Lamar to get one, man. I hate the Lamar slander, bro. Like, I really feel like it's not that Pat's not a brother. You know what I'm saying? Like, I love the fact Pat is a black quarterback. You know what I'm saying?
See,
But like,
so, okay. So me and my cousin, me and my cousin had this discussion, right? He was talking about I want Lamar to win. I said, "Why? I mean, they both black quarterbacks. What's your issue?" He said, "Cause Mahomes ain't a nigga. I'm a nigga."
I mean, I was gonna say it in a more politically correct way, but like, that's
Hey,
that
that's
kind
what
of what
it
it boiled
is.
down on, man. You know, like, goddamn 305, baby. Like, nah, bro, just like but in all truth and honesty, like Mahomes does present a certain image, right? And I think he hits on the best parts of what the league wants to put forward as a brand, as an ambassador. Side note, do you know Adam Silver is getting like another contract? He might be the worst commissioner in sports. We will get into that. Get ready for the basketball pod. But Goodell, he does a great job at putting forward certain icons in the league, right? And if you look at the skill positions, heavily influenced by young African American males who don't necessarily fit mainstream media image. You look at Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase on the offensive end, Odell Beckham. You know what I'm saying? Like they got goals in their mouth, they got dreads, they like you know what I'm saying? You look on the
Oh, okay, okay.
yeah.
I thought you were saying they don't. Okay,
Yeah, I'm saying they don't necessarily look a certain way. You know what I'm saying? Like Alvin Kamara for the longest got the goals in his mouth. You know what I'm saying? Celebrating like this. Um, you look at hell, the whole 49ers team, bro. Debo, Trent Williams. You know what I'm saying? Like this is kind of what the league is putting forward. But that main face of the league has just been kind of like a very well-spoken biracial man. You know what I'm saying? And it's not going to change regardless of the outcome of this game. You know what I'm saying? But Doug Williams winning was iconic in the sense of like a black man could do this. And like media, not media, I would say culture has shifted and changed a bit to where I think Lamar is kind of the the African American man's quarterback. You know what I'm saying? And not to say white people won't like him or whatever. I think anybody who is kind of with me in my mindset understands what I'm saying when I say that. Right? Is that
see,
we wasn't
this
supposed
is
to be
how
here.
my cousin broke it down. He was just saying this is how my cousin broke it down. He just like he identifies them both as black men, but he also looks at Lamar. He says Lamar resembles more closely what I'm familiar with.
Mm-hmm.
He said Lamar is someone that looks and acts like me, and I can identify him. Like I see me and Lamar, because like
And I think
I mean that's basically what it comes down
yeah,
to.
and I think most black guys don't necessarily and hell, this might say a lot about the culture and whatnot, but I don't think a lot of them see themselves in Jalen Hurts, right? Even though Jalen Hurts is a model guy, hardworking, disciplined. I don't think a lot of them see themselves in them, right? And I think a good part of it is because how the media portrayed Lamar Jackson coming out as this kind of ultimate underdog, as this kind of shunned entity, as this kind of you're not supposed to be here, you're not supposed to be able to do this. And so like him winning kind of feels like a win for everybody.
He embraced it, and I love it.
Yeah,
He embraced it. Cause like even when he goes in and has these good passing games, he's like not bad for a running back, huh?
yeah, yeah. And so, hey, look, would never be mad if Pat won because like I feel like Pat's chasing ghosts. I already feel like he's in LeBron territory to where he's not playing anybody he's playing against. He's playing against Tom Brady and that's it. You know what I'm saying? Every time he lines up, he's playing against Tom Brady. LeBron, like, he's not facing Kevin Durant. He's not facing Joel. He's not facing Victor Wembanyama. He's facing Jordan.
He's not even. I don't even. I'm not even sure. I'm not even sure if he faces Jordan anymore.
I mean, I personally think he's a GOAT, but like
I think he's just trying to top his own greatness.
but like I personally think he's a GOAT. But I'm saying like for people who don't, that's the only person they're comparing him to. Him, Kobe, you know what I'm saying? But like he's chasing ghosts. He's not chasing people who playing right now. You know what I'm saying? So like I could never be mad if Pat won. But that's a long way of me saying I hope Baltimore wins. So I bet them. um, but we are on the same side on the other game. That gives me pause because we both may just be freaking wrong here. But we both got Detroit beating San Fran. And maybe it's just because San Fran looked so bad last week. But I think Detroit has every capability in the world to win in this game. Jared Goff turns into a different quarterback when he goes outside, but he is used to playing in California. I I think Detroit has a way, bro.
I believe so too.
Um,
I believe so too.
I think that please don't get fooled by last week's game. Kyle was very tight. He threw the ball on that last drive because he absolutely had to. Right? He was super aggressive on third downs. He didn't face any fourth downs, but he was super aggressive on his second and third down play calling because they had to, right? He got into a groove. He's a
Absolutely.
good play caller. I can't take that away from him. But like we talked about, Campbell adds a lot of variance to the game, right? He does. And
Mm-hmm.
I think most teams, we talked about it, you're basically thinking you're going to get about 9 or 10 possessions in a game. You know what I'm saying? Outside of, like kneel downs to
Right.
end the half or to end the game. You're thinking you're going to get 9 or 10 possessions. And bad teams scoring about 3 of those, decent teams scoring about 5 or 6 of those between field goals and touchdowns. Really great teams score 6, 7, consistently. And so, like,
Mm-hmm.
I think the Lions are a good team. I think they're looking to score between 4 and 6. You know what I'm saying? Touchdowns and field goals. They're looking to score
Yeah.
between 4 and 6 possessions. If they mess up and get a score they're not supposed to, and they're around 6 to 7, I think that totally changes the dynamic of the game. And that happens because Campbell adds variance to the game by
Yeah.
randomly going for it.
Being
Yeah.
aggressive. He's super aggressive. I mean, I don't think it's ever random. I think he's a very analytical coach.
Mm-hmm. And you look at it, Kyle is very, Kyle knows he has a good team. And if you look at the 49ers, in 7 possessions, they may get 3 touchdowns, 2 field goals, right? They try to shorten the number of possessions you get in a game. So instead of 7, they might have 8 possessions in the game, right? 3 touchdowns, 2 field goals. They scored 27 points, and they've shortened the game so much that you were supposed to have 8 possessions, but they turned you over once. You only had 7 possessions, right? And you were only able to score 3 times. Even if you went all touchdowns, they won by 6 points. You know what I'm saying? And probably controlled it toward the end of the
Right.
game. Most teams ain't gonna, and then most teams ain't gonna get 3 of those touchdowns. It's probably gonna be 2 touchdowns and maybe a field goal or 2 field goals. Now it looks like San Fran's blowing people out by 10. I don't think the Lions really allow you to play it ever.
I don't count 10 as a blowout, but no, they don't.
So I think with their offense being constructed the way that it is, I do think they get the max number of possessions this game, right? Um, I think Ben Johnson gonna try to be in his bag, try to let his ego and
No, I
hubris.
ain't gonna try. He yeah, the future Commanders coach.
Yeah, I definitely think he's going to try to put his stamp on this game against the virtue young play caller on the other side. Um, I'm excited to see this one. I think a lot of people have San Fran bouncing back after a bad game, or and like winning outright, or if I'm not mistaken, the spread is 4.5, isn't it?
I think so.
San Fran covering. I like the Lions. I like the Lions with the points, and I actually like them to win outright. So I'm going money line.
No, it's 7 points.
That's disrespectful. That's disrespectful.
Yeah, the Ravens Chiefs is 4.5.
Raven Chiefs 4.5. Okay. That's
Yeah, they got the Niners at the 7. So they got they got Niners 7 points. They got this game, and they got a 51.5 over under.
so 51 and a half.
They think it's gonna be a shootout.
No, 51 and a half over under with a 7-point spread.
That's like that's they think that's gonna be about like 30 something, like 30 something, 20 something.
Yeah, they think it's going to be 30-21. They think they're going to lose by 10 points.
I don't see that.
Now, I don't see it either.
You don't see.
I do not see that either. But we'll see. So,
Because like this is like a game of strength on strength. You got one of the best D lines in the league, and you got one of the best O lines
you
in the
really
league.
do. Now, here's the thing. I think that 49ers D-line is overrated, bro. Chase Young, since he's been traded, has been a no-show. Also, hey, Terry, I had a little slander to you.
Bosa makes up for a whole.
I had a little slander to you. This probably ain't gonna reach you, but if it do, I had a little slander to you for not trading for Trey Young, not trading for Chase Young or Montez Sweat. That's why I sit and talk on podcasts and you run teams. You understand? So you got it. Like, do your thing. Was really looking for you to give up that third, but nah, Chase ain't it, bro. Chase ain't been playing like, and you could say he's still coming off the
He
energy.
goes because he don't play it. Nah, he just goes rogue. He doesn't. He don't follow like he's there. He's there because of his pedigree.
100%.
It's more name than anything at this point.
100%. Because he's supposed to bookend. They've actually moved him inside a couple times. What's his name? They picked him 16th overall, too, out of South Carolina. How do I know his draft position?
Talk about Kinlaw.
Kinlaw. How do I know his draft position and his school, but I can't think of this man's name?
Because I know the Falcons wanted him
Yeah,
that year.
bro,
Yeah,
Kinlaw, all time bust right now. All time bust right now. He is looking,
I think it's mostly these injuries. He can't stay on the field.
bro. Look,
And then
now their linebacking core is elite, but like people always like want to say like their D line has not been showing up this year. And I think that has a lot to do with what people perceive to be a drop off in the 49ers defense is that their D line just ain't the line that it's been the past couple of years. Bro, what you over there smiling? Who done texted you?
I just
These are booty call hours,
I got
dog.
distracted.
You can't.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. So we're gonna go ahead and end the pod. Please like, subscribe, follow us on TikTok, X, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all that. You guys shoot into the DMs. BOAF on X, on TikTok. You can reach us. We tag ourselves in most of our videos and whatnot. So if you want to reach us, hit those DMs. We always want to try to use those topics for City Talk, right? If it's just me and Todd, we can come up with things to talk about on that last segment of the show, but we love hearing from you guys. That's our fan engagement. We want to get y'all. So love you. Appreciate you. Thank y'all for being here. This has been your boy Qcity.
Your boy Taj Bravado.
We out.
Peace.